Welcome, everybody. We're going to give people a minute or so to stream in. This is the CXL Institute Content Strategy and SEO for Lead Generation course preview, which is actually, we promise, we hope, will be filled with practical stuff, even just for those of you who are previewing it. And it's going to give you a sense for what's in each of the 6 different classes. So we'll give people just another minute here, and then we'll jump in with one of the top tips from each of the 6 classes about content strategy and SEO, totally focused on lead generation and demand. Some of you may know me already. I'm a big fan of CXL, though I've never been to the event. It's not high on my list. It's a bucket list item for me, and I will be there one day. But I am the co-founder of Orbit Media Studios, which is a web design and kind of a digital agency here in Chicago. We've been around for 18 years, and I've been doing content strategy for 10 years. Search optimization and analytics for 18 years, and content strategy for 10. And what we really mean when we say that is, it was 2007 for me, but around that same time for a lot of us, the tactics all converged. Search and social and email and blogging and all these pieces began to fit together in a way that we all just started to call content marketing. And it fits beautifully with the rest of the curriculum at CXL because it relates to conversion, it relates to analytics. There's so many things in here that will be familiar to you, and it's going to go deeper on some things that maybe are less familiar for the typical CXL audience member. So I think we're safe to start. Hopefully everything's working and the tech check is working. I've had my slides crash on me twice this morning, so if they go, I'll bring them right back. This will be recorded, so sit back and absorb or take notes furiously if you want to try to get it all in one go. And then at the end, we'll tell you how to go much deeper and get the rest of the content. So here we go with a quick webinar. First, I want to define strategy because to me, this has become kind of a buzzword itself. Strategy is a plan of action designed to achieve a goal. When I hear people say strategy, my mind just instantly translates it to a plan to reach a goal. That's it. I think it's jargon now, but I think if we can just keep it simple by saying that strategy is a plan to reach a goal. So what is content strategy? It's a plan to use content to reach a business goal. Okay, so that's it. That's the point. We're creating a plan to use content to reach that specific business goal. Now, if you read a lot of the blogs, I'm going to call out HubSpot because I think HubSpot kind of makes it sound like this, or a lot of bloggers and a lot of marketing teachers make it sound this way. Write some blog posts and you'll attract an audience, right? People come to your blog from search or social or email. And yes, of course, those are the 3 main channels in content strategy. And some of those blog readers will move on to your sales pages, your product or service. And then from there, they're going to get some trust by going to your about page, what you believe, who you are. And they go to the contact page, fill out the form, and become a lead, making it to the thank you page. In my experience, though, this little arrow in here is actually a tiny, tiny, tiny arrow because very few, if you've done this for a while, you know yourself, very few, only a very small percentage of people who read our helpful, useful content marketing content ever actually move farther down that funnel into the products and service pages. Very few of our audience who have information intent are ever going to be captured at the moment when they actually also have commercial intent. It's just not really how people use the internet. I can confirm this in 100 or literally 700 analytics accounts. I have access to 700 accounts. We have so many clients. And if you create a segment that shows people who land on your blog and look at the traffic from those, the percentage of people, right? If you've got a big content program, 90% or more of your visitors are starting on the blog. For those visitors who start on the blog, what's their conversion rate? Look at that, 0.03%. That's kind of a myth that just blogging works. It's not strategic enough. It's not a concrete enough plan to reach a goal. So that's what we're going to do in the course. That's what we're going to do right now and explain how leads like this are all too rare. It's so rare, I took a screenshot. Hey, I love reading your blog. I got so much value from you over the years. I need a website. Wow, just doesn't happen every day. But what does happen every day and how you can connect those dots so it becomes a great plan to reach a goal is when you look at for me, I'm in Search Console. Google Search Console shows you who's linking to what And you can see that people link to content marketing content all the time. That's actually the thing that attracts the most links. Equally rare, right, in this world is when people link to a service page. Why would people link to a service page? They almost never do that. It's like a super uncommon thing. There's not enough reason to link to a service page, but people link to content all the time, all day long, especially certain types, which we'll get into. So this is the formula. This is the mechanism. This is the plan for generating a consistent source of qualified visitors, for generating a consistent source of qualified leads. What these blog posts attract is links and authority. That's why this is an SEO focused, a search centric approach to content strategy. And that authority is passed down to every page on the domain, contributing to the domain as a whole, the authority of the entire domain, making those service pages more likely to rank. Because you might get search traffic to the blog posts, and even lots of them. We saw 90% in that account, visitors starting in the blog. But how do we get qualified visitors to land on the service page? By getting it to rank. How do you get the service page to rank? By having enough authority. How do you get enough authority? By having blog posts with link-worthy content plus relationships with people who create links. And that's why we mix influencers into the mix, right? That's why influencer marketing is going to be part of this course. And it's really a comprehensive, complete strategy at generating demand through search, through formats, through topics, through influencers, collaboration, on-site, off-site, and then optimization of the entire program through analytics. Okay, so now that we know where we're going, I'm going to give you a sense for what you find on that path, on that road, on the way there. The first class, the first course here is about content strategy. And if you don't do this first thing, you're just not going to succeed. This is step one in on the road to success for everybody, and it's to create that mission statement. The mission statement for this company is right here at the top. This is a B2B company. It's a passport and visa expediting service. And they publish right here, right? Their blog is where travelers get expert advice, tips, and news. Why? To make travel easier. That makes sense. That's their mission. They published it right there at the top. So they know what they're doing, who they're talking to, and why that audience cares. Really important, why that audience cares. Here's another B2B example. This is an engineering company, and their content has one purpose: to help engineers answer the most challenging industrial soldering questions. What a great niche. I love it. So let's look at another example. Tell Labs, their goal is to be the best source of information on optical LANs, local area networks. They show IT buyers how to address tech and business challenges, identify trends, reduce expenses, and improve overall experience. So take a look at ours. Our site is where digital marketers find what? Practical advice on content analytics and web design. Why? To get better results from their websites. So that formula where who digital marketers find what topics, why the benefit for them or the what's in it for me, right? So here is your formula. Here is your template for step one in every content strategy, for step one in every content marketing program, is to put yourself on a mission by solving for X, Y, and Z. Your content is where which audience gets what information for what benefit. Just take a screenshot or write that down, or the class goes deeper into this. Do this because when you do this, you are statistically more likely to report success from your content. Companies that have a documented mission statement, about half of them report that they're successful or effective or very effective in their content marketing. This is according to the Content Marketing Institute Marketing Profs Content Marketing Survey. People that have not documented their mission statement, much less likely. People who have no mission statement at all, very unlikely to say that they're effective at content marketing. They're much more likely to say they're ineffective at it. So put yourself on that mission, step one, right? Put yourself on that mission. Do you have that mission documented? Only 28% of the companies surveyed have done it. So you will automatically be like an early adopter. You'll automatically move yourself up that maturity curve in your content just by doing this one thing. And I actually find it fun. If I had time, I'd do it with each of you. Fun to do with a bottle of wine, a glass of beer, right? Just sit down and write that mission statement and spell it out, post it, print it, slap it up over your keyboard, right? So you know who you're writing for, what you write about, and why they care. Audience X gets information Y for benefit Z. And when you do that, you will be one of those marketers with a documented mission statement making yourself statistically 3 times more likely to succeed at content. And that's obviously insufficient to just magically get better at marketing by drinking a beer with a writing on a napkin. So how does that make a difference? Napkins are great. You just use a napkin. The beer and the napkin are actually a really good way to get started with good marketing. Lots of great marketing starts in the backs of napkins. But here is the specific mechanism, right? I am totally uninterested in impractical theory. I am totally obsessed with actions you can take that connect directly to an outcome. So, example, turn that mission into a call to action, and you'll see the impact on your ROI. You'll see the impact on your list growth. You'll see the impact on the conversion rate from visitor to subscriber from your blog or wherever you publish. Look at that. This is practical tips for content marketing, analytics, and web design. It's an adapted version of our mission, right? That's how you know what's in it for you. That's not how you know why you would care. That's the email sign up right there. Another place that this makes a great call to action, in your social accounts. Go take a look at your social media bios and ask yourself why anybody would click that little follow button, right? Call it a soft subscribe. Why would anybody do that? Look at these. This is a random screenshot of some recent followers, and I, of course, look at them to see if there's something I'm missing, if I could connect, right? Who am I talking to here? This person is an author of something I don't know what it means. Tariq has no information. Sima says that she's a unicorn. If I'm interested in unicorns that day, I might follow that account. But honestly, if they just wrote who they write for, what their topics are, and why you would care, you'd be much more likely to, right? Like, look at this example. All-in-one design studio to help brands shine. At least there's some kind of benefit. In fact, none of these publish the information Y or benefit Z, right? It's very common. So if you want faster follower growth, you want faster subscriber growth, you want to not waste your time on irrelevant topics, you want to never lose sight of who you're talking to and why, simply do that. And I get email all the time from people who tell me they get great results after spending that one simple trick. Okay? This is definitely one of those things that can make a big difference for any of you right away. So there's other stuff in class one. Class one has lots of things, actually. These are very dense. So you're going to want to watch them with the pause button nearby, or maybe watch them twice. Or if you're a pro, just sit back and you'll maybe some of it will just be review for you. But these are all things covered in the first class. How to find those specific topics your audience loves. That's almost one of my favorite tricks. Some of those tools will instantly show you, right? You can do great content for any industry without even knowing the industry, because the topics jump out at you through your browser with these tools. How to co-create with collaborators. How to do digital PR and work with editors for off-site publishing. How to build a network of interconnected content. So many content programs, they're just like dispersed on related things. How to create research-driven topics that will crush your competition. That might be one of the best tricks in the entire course. Original research, dominant format for content. Moving on to class two, this course includes a deep dive into SEO. We're going to, right now, talk about the specifics of measuring authority and estimating your competition, okay? Because there are two factors in whether or not you rank and how high. Two main factors, off-site SEO and on-page SEO. We know that these are the two types of search optimizers. Just meet an SEO and start talking to them, and you can tell quickly whether they're all about link building or whether they're about indicating relevance and keyword research. So links and keywords, we'll make it simple. So I want to talk now about the authority half, authority and relevance. That's the authority piece, and understanding competition, because a lot of people who even say that they're pro SEOs don't seem to fully grasp the concepts to be able to successfully diagnose a ranking or lack of ranking or what the issues are, right? Okay, so we're going to do a bit of the authority piece now, and I want you to understand just within the next few minutes how to understand competition and whether or not you have a chance of ranking for that phrase. Should your homepage be realigned with a different topic? If your homepage is targeting a key phrase that you have no chance of ranking for, then why are you wasting your best competitor in a competition they can't win, right? Every key phrase is a competition. Every page is a competitor. That's an important point, by the way. Google doesn't rank websites. Google has never ranked a website. Google ranks only web pages. Every page is a different competitor. You choose what competition you enter that competitor in, right? Makes sense. So at a glance, a pro can tell at a glance whether or not that's a very competitive key phrase. There's a ton of ads, there's a ton of famous websites, or a lot of the websites have the target key phrase in their title tag. That means the search optimizers are here and they're already fighting over that. But there's a far better way to do it, a more quantitative way to do it. And we're going to use Moz, for example, to tell whether a key phrase is very competitive or not, whether our domain is sufficiently authoritative or not. You just put the key phrase into the Moz Keyword Explorer and it gives you a metric, difficulty, okay? That's a paid tool. You can get that data for free, or much of it for free, by using the Moz bar, which will overlay that same data onto Google search results. The top ranked websites have authorities of 43, 36, 65, 59. Now, the class is a deep dive into this topic. I'm obviously not going to teach all of SEO in the next 5 minutes here. But big picture, you have to know what your authority is and know what the keyword difficulty is, and know that if your page is in that same range of the other authority levels of the sites that rank for that specific key phrase, you've got a chance of ranking. Okay? Quick example. Beer example. A few people who would like to post a beverage here in the CXL community, I know. So Chicago Beer Experience, I don't know this company, I have nothing to do with this company, but they've got a website. The website has some level of authority. We look up that level of authority using the Moz Link Explorer. It looks like the page is an authority of 37. Okay, that's our level of authority. That's our chance of ranking. It was 37. So the question becomes, do we have a sufficient, is the keyword difficulty going to be in that range that gives us a chance for that key phrase? Okay, so thinking on my feet here as my PowerPoint crashed, we're back. So let's use a metaphor. You're a sports team and you can score 37 sports points. What sport should you play? Should you play basketball? No, never ever play basketball, because you will lose every basketball game you play if you only score 37 sports points. People tease me because I don't know that much about sports. I actually like baseball. Baseball, should you play baseball? Yes, play every baseball game you can find, because you can score 37 baseball points. They're called runs. You're going to win every baseball game you play, right? Or soccer, as we say in the US, football, right? Or American football, or hockey, or some game like. So you have to know the difficulty of the key phrase and the authority of your page. Here's some examples. Beer. Is that site, what was it, 37? Our authority is 37, as in we can score 37 sports points. Should we target beer? Nope. We're never going to win for that key phrase. That's like a low-scoring basketball game. Give it up, never mind. We have to choose a longer, more specific key phrase. Chicago bars, 48. Are we going to rank for that key phrase? Nope. We are never going to rank for that key phrase. That's like a high-scoring game of like American football. No chance. Don't bother. Waste of time. Again, we'll choose a longer, more specific phrase. Chicago Beer Tour. Yes. That's a 39. We were 37. Should be right there in the range, right? Or we did this using Mozbar by averaging eyeballing the authority of the high-ranking pages. Are we in that range? Yes, we're in that range. So we could say, yes, we have a chance for that. Lovely. It worked. They rank for Chicago Beer Tour. Make sense? Know your domain authority and only target key phrases if they are within your range. Okay? So we're going to go much, much deeper on this topic in the class. Show you where to find your domain authority, show you where to find the tools to be able to compare, the paid tools, the free tools. Class 2 actually covers a bunch of stuff related to search. It's a complete overview of all the tactical, practical aspects of SEO, including key phrase research, how to properly use key phrases, including the semantic SEO tactics, which I think are overlooked a lot. It's not really about using a key phrase. It's about covering the topic of the key phrase, indicating relevance across the broader meaning. I'm going to show you the worst title tag you could possibly use on your website. And I'm going to show you how to check to see if a page is actually indicating its own relevance through the simple, what I call the Control F test. So class 2's got a lot in it, and anybody who doesn't feel comfortable with their SEO skills is going to really level up by the time they're done with that short class. So that's a really good one. I think that even just taking that one course offers enough value for anybody who takes this class, signs up for the CXL course to get full value. The next class is about formatting, digital content best practices, because if you screw this up, nothing else will work. It's a deal breaker. Your audience will ignore you if you don't get this right. The reality is that visitors tend not to read. They're scanning. This actually has an indirect impact on SEO if you understand what we'll talk about it as well, user interaction signals and their impact on search. But knowing that visitors tend to scan, we have to adapt our content accordingly. Nielsen Norma Group found that maybe only 28% of words on a page are getting read, more likely 20%. So the reality is that we need to adapt our content and never, never, never do this. Bad idea. This big blocky paragraph. This is not college. Your content is not assigned. Every page has the same feature as the back button, and your visitor is one click away from every other page on the internet. So they do not need to read your content, so you must live in fear that they will stop paying attention to you and adapt your content accordingly through basic digital content best practices. White space, short paragraphs, subheaders, bullets, bolding, italics, internal links, anything that you can do, right? Numbered lists and calls to action, images, block quotes, all these things will make your content more scannable, more successful for your audience. Jason Fried, I think, has just put this nicely. Short paragraphs get read. Long paragraphs get skimmed. Very long paragraphs get skipped. I think that the day that you take this course, this is only one of the tactics in the class, the day that you take this course, you will likely go back and look at every page on your website. And an hour and a half later, your website will be higher performing because you'll go fix those high value pages by making the content simply more aligned with digital content best practices, more sensitive to how people use the internet. So as we go here, by the way, we're going to have some time for some questions at the end. I want to invite each of you to ask anything. And when we get there, you can ask questions as we go here just by adding questions to the chat box. Right? So feel free to put questions in the chat box. We'll address them. And I may not get to them until the end, but just chat them to the entire audience and we'll be fine. Questions when the classes will be held. The class starts on the 20th, so it's coming right up. That was a question from B. Sharma. So when will class 1 and 2 be held? Very excited for the kickoff of this. Another amazing missed opportunity is just internal linking. As I said, a good content strategy is not weird little separate isolated islands of content and value. It's an interconnected hub of tons of things, right? Why do you get lost in Wikipedia? Why, when you go to Wikipedia, does 45 minutes go by and you suddenly read like an amazing article about like, giant squid mating practices and, what's inside, the history of a taco and hundreds of things, right? It's because of internal linking. Yet most people, I saw an article this morning, right? Someone asked me to look at something that's just this morning. I'm looking at this thing and it's got no internal links. It's not ever going to get traction, right? It's not going to invite that visitor to dig deeper. So what do you link to from anything? Just put site:/web address for your own website. That's called a search operator, site:/. You're searching just your own website. And then space, and then in quotes, the topic of the article that you're publishing, the new article. You're going to find all kinds of other articles that mention that keyword. Now you have the opportunity to do what 90% of content marketers never do, which is to link to something new from something old. So many bloggers know that they should link to the new, link from something new to something old. That's fine, good idea, do that. But when you publish something new, how many times have you decided, right? Is it part of your publishing strategy to go back and find old related things, maybe old high traffic things, maybe old high ranking things, and link with a call to action or a simple body text paragraph formatted link to the new article? Not even 5% of marketers ever do this. But isn't that your job, is to promote this new piece of content? Simple missed opportunities. There are dozens of them, and we cover them in the class. So there you go. You're not done making that new thing until you've linked to it from an old thing. People just never even thought of it before. So there's tons of this, right? There's tons of these opportunities. Some of these, honestly, I told you I've done 10 years of content. It's taken me many, many years to figure out how to combine all these into a format, in a structure that leads to consistent outperforming results, that leads to consistent outperformance of my competitors. So all that types of formatting is going to keep your visitor engaged, keep the scanner flowing through the content, get them to stop and slow down. We know what they're not reading, that's fine. We write super detailed, thorough, exhaustive articles, but we format them so the visitor can just slide through them quickly, looking for the value they want to get by use of headers and subheads and bullet lists, numbered lists, italics, internal links, and multiple images. I'm going to show you some research about multiple images and how powerful that can be, how we have to make something of strong visual interest at every scroll depth. The goal is not to put a picture on every page. It's not about the page, it's about the scroll depth. It's about the field of vision. What is in that person's field of vision? So class 3 also covers the latest research, super powerful, about headlines, including which 3-word combinations, which trigrams correlate with ridiculous outperformance in engagement on social media. If you haven't seen this, wow. I'm going to spell it out and combine it with the other related tactics so that it fits together. It's not just about social, it's about search. Creating content that performs in both search and social. That's a skill. Creating content where when you look at it, you can tell if it's going to be better in search or in social. Is your content unexpected? It's good in social. Is your content meeting expectations? It's good in search. Remember, these are totally opposite types of people. Visitors in social are bored. Visitors in search are busy. In social, they've got their finger on a piece of glass. In search, they're typing on a keyboard. In social, you know nothing about what they want, but everything about who they are. In search, you know nothing about who they are, but everything about what they want. These are skills of content strategists. The content length, blog images, there's so much stuff in that course. As an indication of the pace at which we move, this is the rate at which we're going now is the rate at which we cover the class. So what you end up with is about 6 hours of this general density of practicality. So I'm not going faster or slower than the class. This is about the pace at which we cover specific tactics and actions and takeaways, just so you know what you're looking for. So next, we're going to talk about collaboration and influencers. Don't go it alone. We want to co-create content with our collaborators. Influencer marketing is a massive, super popular format now. It can't be left out or can't be ignored if you're serious about search. It is unbelievably, it's maybe one of the few shortcuts in all of content marketing. And it's a bad blogger, it's a bad content marketer that just sits there alone, typing one post after the other, hitting publish in WordPress. It's a great content marketer that gets out there, makes friends, builds connections, understands who else is writing about what else, people that have already built that audience that you want to connect with. You can borrow that audience if you are smart and sensitive and collaborative and you reach out, get out there, right? Work with other people. Here's what you want. This is the goal. That's the goal. We want a lead. How do you get a lead? You need 2 things. You need traffic, qualified visitors, and a conversion rate, a percentage of the visitors take action. So where do we get this traffic? From the 3 main traditional content channels of search, of social, and email. Now, I just said that these visitors had different intents, right? Visitors from search are the most likely to convert because you know what they want. They have information intent, they have commercial intent, they just typed it into a keyboard. You have the opportunity to satisfy their information or commercial needs. So how do we get that search traffic? We're talking about rankings. I already covered this. Why do sites rank? 2 reasons: authority and relevance, links and content. So now I'm going to ask maybe the most important question in all digital marketing. Why do people link to things? 2 reasons. 1, you have content worth linking to. 2, you have relationships with people who create links. Is that obvious? Maybe not obvious. Okay, so the relationships, it's a very human thing, this connection, right? These people, search is, it's a human thing. It's not just about robots. We're going to build those relationships. I'll give you an example of how to collaborate, how to build relationships with content creators, how to front load your content, how to stack the deck to get traction in social. Two bloggers. The blogger on your left did not take or isn't taking the CXL course. They're not an institute member, and they're just the lonely blogger with cold, clammy hands and a pile of empty pizza boxes sitting in the dark basement, publishing one post after the other. The blogger on your right has a collaborative approach to content marketing. They reach out to co-creators. They ask for input and insights. Should I write about this topic? What do you think? Have you seen any research? They're active in LinkedIn and social media, getting insights into what other people are talking about, writing about. And when they create, they include people in their content. There are faces, there's names, there's job titles, there's links, there's insights from other people. These two bloggers post these two articles. Who gets more social traction? It's obvious. It's so obvious, right? The blogger on the right created their content in public, and they included co-creators and influencers in their stuff, even as just contributor quotes. This is another thing that after this course, you will likely add to your publishing standards and guidelines. Just don't write articles without including a contributor. Journalists wouldn't do it. A journalist wouldn't write an article without including a source. It wouldn't be a credible article. So you need to invite outside experts into your content with that idea that content optimized for search, obviously, includes keywords. It's got keywords in the header, in the body text, in the subheads, right, in the title tag, in the meta description. But what a lot of marketers don't realize, again, like this is like something that only 1% of marketers ever do. Content optimized for social includes people. Go look at your last 5 articles and see how many people are included in them. How many faces, how many names, how many contributor quotes from how many people who can add value, how many people that become friends, how many people that might mention you in their content. Knowing that people who create content create links, you have to give whatever you hope to get. You're going to give them contributor quotes and links to their stuff because you're hoping to be included in their work. Not just the roundups, the overused mega roundup, but you're writing a piece on any topic. Just reach out and get a quote from some pro. You're going to make a friend. Bottom line, if you're not making friends, you're not doing it. You're doing it wrong. That's not how content works. It's not you're missing out, right? But not just anybody. We're looking for that 1%. If you haven't heard of it, you'll know it for now. You know it now and forever. The 1% rule. 1% of us make the internet. 99% of people just consume it. So as you go about your day looking at social media, those people should jump out at you. That's a content creator. That's a potential collaborator. That's an expert on a topic. That person might be included in my stuff somehow, and they might later include me in their stuff somehow. And people who make content make links. Links pass authority. Authority passes ranking potential. And that's how I'm going to generate qualified visitors to my sales pages ultimately, right? A plan to reach a goal. This is content strategy. So we're going to be looking very carefully for these content creators. And if you don't know who they are, you can find them in 10 seconds because social media is the world's greatest phone book. Just put in any topic and you'll find piles of them. This is the Twitter search tool. But I'm going to add the word blogger or writer or author when I search for potential collaborators because those are people who create things and they may pass a SEO benefits eventually. Those people are not, there's greater value in those people in a way because I might, that collaboration can, I have a search focused, influencer centric strategy. It's not just anybody. Another way to find these people is using a tool like BuzzSumo. BuzzSumo is a paid tool, but one of the lovely things about it is that you can filter for any topic, and it shows you the domain authority of the sites they write for. I don't have to go look them up in Moz. The data is right there. That's the value of the link if the collaboration should lead to that outcome. So we're going deeper into online networking than I've done here. We're talking about how to pitch and do the guest blogging and PR. The guest blogging tour I went on for 1.5 years and wrote 70 articles for different websites have given me a permanent, very durable benefit, domain authority, upgrade that has led to tons of qualified leads, right? Get leads every day. How do I do that? Well, I had to have authority. How did I do that? I did a lot of guest posting for a time. And also how to collaborate with partners, possible referral partners, and prospects, people in your funnel. Smart B2B marketers actually collaborate with people who are in their sales funnel, right? That's a lot of fun. Those are influencers of revenue. We like them. The next class, we're going to go into getting it done, getting stuff done. Brian from CXL and I kind of use stuff because it's a little family friendly. We want to get stuff done. It's important to mention this because there's a lot of little hacks. Content marketers often fail because they're not efficient enough. Yeah, you can get a result and make something great in 55 hours. Okay, that's not going to become part of a repeatable, scalable content program. If you can get that time down to 5 hours, now you're ready to win. Now you're going to be able to get that flywheel going fast enough without breaking the bank or wasting your budget or burning extra calories or building a giant team. As an example, to make this point, Amanda, who has been to CXL Live, is my digital marketing director here. She's a marketing director. She's full-time a marketer here at Orbit. There's 38 of us. She's a full-time marketer. For me, it's about half of my job. So we have 1.5 marketers. We drive 1.2 million visitors a year and 2 to 3 qualified leads per day. Total expense, 0. We don't spend money on marketing. Marketing actually makes money for us in some strange indirect ways. But it's surprising, right, how efficient you can be when you create the processes and build things to scale. And some of it is done just by being efficient in your own time. So here's an example. Random stock photo lady asked me a question. I reply to random stock photo, and it looks like this. Here's a big question. Here's another question, someone contributing to something. So when people send me these questions, because I am busy, this is going to sound ironic, because I am busy, I go all out with super detailed answers. I don't just say, here's a few thoughts. I send a long email with formatting and numbers and lists and headers and links and images. Not exaggerating, actual screenshot. Someone asked me to help them with something with some questions, and I reply like this. You send me an email, I might just reply like that. Why do I do that? Because I'm very busy and because I'm going to repurpose it. So watch what happens next. Random stock photo lady says, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. This is fantastic. If I have any questions, I'll let you know. Then I store my answer in a folder called content marketing in my email. 3 years later, now I waited too long. You don't need to wait 3 years. But 3 years later, I went back in there and I had 171 questions and answers, detailed questions and answers. Copy, paste into a document. It's 92 pages long. Wow. I was writing a book. I just didn't know it. And that's true for all of you. You are all writing books. You just don't know it. Anybody who's on the front line with a client, anybody who's in a customer service role or a sales role is genuinely creating content every day. It's the irony of content. People say, oh, I'd love to do content marketing, but I don't have time. I'll rephrase that. Oh, I'd love to do blogging, but I'm too busy working. I'll rephrase that. Oh, I'd love to do some writing, but I'm too busy writing email. See where I'm going? Oh, I'd love to write, but I'm too busy writing. It's crazy. They're actually writing all the time. They're writing in a personal tone, and they're writing on topics that are vetted by the audience that people care about. So what you're going to do next after collecting all these things is categorize them. The categories will instantly tell you what the internet, what the universe and the internet want from you. These are the topics for your blog. If you didn't know yet, some of those things are going to come out of that document instantly ready to publish. Some of you might publish, some of you might pitch. Here, Ginny, a friend of mine, writes a blog called Spin Sucks. Would you like this article about how to turn a press release into a blog? She loves it. Posts it right away. She's very happy with that article. Another article that I wrote, and this is my content marketing template you're seeing here. When you use this template, it forces you to do keyword research, think about email subject lines, plan who you're going to collaborate with, write out your social posts in advance. It's one of the things we share in the course is the content marketing template. If you use the template, you can't create content without promotion in mind. That's the content marketing. You're not just creating stuff, you're planning to promote it. So this article here about collaborative content marketing becomes this giant piece that answers every question about collaborative content marketing, and lo and behold, it ranks for collaborative content marketing. There's the performance in search according to Moz. This other article here about testimonials. Turns out I've been doing a lot of talking, right? We do web design. I'm always talking about social proof and testimonials and how to get them and how to use them and where to put them. So this article about how to write testimonials actually ranks. Started as an email, ranks number 3 for testimonial, ranks number 4 for testimonial examples. Maybe ranks even higher now. Go ahead and search for it if you'd like. And there it is. There's the rank climbing over time, right? Started out as an email. It's now getting 400 visits a day. How did I do that? I got very efficient with my day-to-day email by planning to promote this stuff, to collect and to process and to polish and to publish. And so that when it goes live, right, I'm going to get more durable benefit from what would have just been an email. Social media marketers have a saying, never waste a conversation by having it in private. People who just write answers to client questions, prospect questions in email are wasting their time by not collecting that and driving that into their content strategy. Turn those emails into answers, those answers into a keyword-aligned article, give it a keyword-focused headline. There's a lot of other stuff in class 5. That's the template I mentioned. Your internal documents are an amazing opportunity. I've got an example in there where I just took something that we use every day, kaboom, made a great post, ranks like a champ, gets visits, probably getting visits in red, getting views right now. And then this might be, if I taught only like 3 things, this last one would be one of them. How to find the articles that you've published already that would get the greatest benefit from a little bit of love, a little bit of editing and improvement. Updating older content. Again, only a tiny percentage of content marketers have figured this out. Take the course, I'll give you the framework, is how to find those older things and make them more valuable, make them more rank worthy, make them more shareable, get them back on the top of the pile, republish them as if they were new without changing the URL. I have to explain briefly URL best practices. It's a lost art. And once you understand that, you're going to have this thing becomes fresh, it becomes new again. It's going to be ready for new social promotion, and a lot of those twice the traffic in half the time, quadruple the traffic in half the time, because it's easier than writing a brand new piece. So that's one of the things that we go into in detail. The final class is about analytics. We've got a 6-part course here. Analytics is about how to measure, how to optimize. So the CXL members, Institute members especially, have a lot of background in this. There's a lot of content, and I love everything that's in the library. This is partly a review for some of you, I'm sure, but it's 100% focused on the content strategist approach. This isn't just Google Analytics in general. This isn't just the basics. This is a deep dive into the specific reports and analysis that you do as a content strategist to measure the performance of content, to find all the low-hanging fruit, to optimize, to iterate, and to improve your content performance. It's not landing page. I mean, it's not just like landing pages or something. This is the content strategist view into Google Analytics. So one of the tactics I like to use in here is the search focus, which is how to see every phrase that you rank for. People always complain, oh, there's no keyword data in analytics. Analytics doesn't share that data with us. That's crap. There's tons of keyword data in analytics. It's in the acquisition search console queries report. There is no behavior level metrics at the keyword for keywords, but there's still tons of opportunity here. Watch this. Take the data, all the phrases you rank for and how high you rank, okay? Then add a filter, an advanced filter, to include only on this report phrases for which the average position is greater than 10. If your average position is greater than 10, where do you rank? On page 2. Analytics in 5 seconds will show you a list of all the phrases for which you rank high on page 2. See what you can do with this? Very, very useful. I can actually, and then sort by position, and you're seeing it's basically a list of striking distance key phrases. A lot of these you probably never even thought about. You didn't even know about. Never do I meet a marketer who can tell me all their lowest hanging search optimization opportunities, right? People just have no idea. This is called, I made a video about this once called How to Rank Higher in Google in 5 Minutes. I'm not exaggerating, and that's not clickbait, because that's about how long it takes me in any account, and you can do it too. You're going to really have felt like you leveled up your SEO skills, your analytics-driven SEO skills after taking this class, because this framework will give you the ability, as long as it's set up properly, and we have to set it up properly first, to go in, look at any account, find all the lowest hanging fruit, make those changes, go improve that page, give the keyword, give the title tag more keyword focus, add details, add links, add questions, make it more scannable, which is partly about improving the user interaction signals, right? Adding a contributor quote, putting in more images, adding the semantically related phrases. Usually 1 or 2 of those things is all it takes to move it up a little bit. And moving it up a little bit moves it from page 2 to page 1, right? It's like blackjack. You see the 11s, that's a page 2 phrase. So you go confirm the ranking, find the page, log into the CMS, improve the page, click save, check back in 4 days. How to rank higher in Google in minutes. It's really not rocket science, but a lot of SEO, even hardcore SEOs I know don't do this, right? It's fun. It's actually a lot of fun. We also talk about how to set it up properly, I mentioned. What is the top path through your website? Do you know what the top path is through your website? You know page A, B, C, D, what the most common path is? If your website were a highway, if your website were a city, there'd be a highway flowing through it. Do you know what that highway is? If you don't know where to put your billboards. You don't know where to put your strongest content, right? I also included in this course the tactic of site search SEO, which is how to understand what your visitors are looking for in your site search box, now to optimize your own content to rank higher on your own website for your own search tool. What are they looking for but not finding? And then, of course, right, how to find your highest converting content. Which are the articles that you published that trigger the visitor to take action and subscribe more than the others? Rare to meet a marketer who knows which of their articles has the highest conversion rate from visitor to subscriber. But once you know that, you know exactly which articles to put into heavy social rotation. You know exactly which articles to feature on your homepage. You know exactly which articles to link to from your email subject signature, right? Or to buy ads to, or to use in native ads, right? Or just to promote, or write more on that topic, or to create internal links, right? Your website has mousetraps, the high converting pages, and it has cheese, the traffic magnets, the high ranking pages. SEO times CRO. This is how value is created. And sometimes a simple link from the traffic champ to the conversion champ is all it takes to increase your email list growth. So that pretty well sums it up. I hope that maybe you got enough value from here just to watch this again. So you're going to get an email with a recording to this little webinar. I apologize for the crashy PowerPoint. We tried to roll with it and come right back in. Didn't break stride too much. You'll find a link in that email to sign up for the course. It's in the Institute. It's not hard to find. Just go to just search for, CXL webinars, and you'll find it right there at the top. The webinar starts on August 20th. If it's not right for you, maybe you know someone else who would get a lot of value from this. If you know anyone else who is not 100% confident that they're getting traction and value from their content program, I would invite them to come take a look, because it's just impossible for me to imagine that after taking this course, that you wouldn't be able to get to 10x the upside to all that content you're creating. I mean, there's definitely in every class, ideally in every 10 minutes or so, you're learning something practical. If you're newer to content marketing, every 3 or 5 minutes in this course, you should be learning something practical. Where basically, a lot of it is teaching out of the book. I'm the author of Content Chemistry, which has a lot of the same stuff in it. So this is the download of everything in my brain in the best format I can provide it in, which is video. And it's a huge honor and pleasure to have made something together with CXL. I'm a fan of so many of the things that I've experienced and learned through their platform. If you're an Institute member, congrats, you've already got it. Just budget the time, put it on your calendar, and go back and start learning. So I'm going to take a quick look at and see what questions we've got. Let me move the chat over here. We've got 10 minutes left, so we're doing pretty well. If you've got questions, go ahead and put them into the chat window. Make sure to chat them so that everyone can see them. So the class will be held, as we said, on the class launches on August 20th. In the chat window, there's a link. So there it is. Just click that link. Save your spot. This is a question from Suzanne. She says, I mentioned briefly that the words on page and off site in ranking. What do I mean off site? So the two main components of the Google search algorithm is on page SEO, which is indicating relevance by using the target key phrase and related phrases in the title, the header, the body text, building the page itself. But that's insufficient to rank because the other major factor in Google's algorithm is, does your site have enough authority to be considered credible to rank for this phrase, especially the really competitive, high-value phrases. So the other half of SEO is off-site, as in who's linking to you. It's like PR, links and mentions from other websites, especially from sites that have a lot of authority themselves, that have high link popularity themselves. So outreach, PR, influencer marketing, trying to make news, creating link-worthy content like research. There's so many different tactics. It's so creative, actually, this off-site piece, building authority. So that's what I mean about off-site, relevance and authority, keywords and links, on-page, off-site. That's kind of, there's more to it than that, and we go into detail in the course, but that's at a big picture, that's kind of what it is. Next question is from Jonathan. He says, when you talk about competing terms, of course, PowerPoint again. I'll bring it up just to put the final slide up. He says, when you talk about competing terms, are you saying we should wait to see how our ranking is improved before to compete with the next level? Well, we're competing against other companies. We're competing against other web pages. So what we do when we target a key phrase is determine whether we have a chance of ranking for that key phrase. So whether or not you win would determine, and you successfully rank for that phrase would determine whether or not you need to do more optimization. If you had sufficient authority but don't rank, probably you need to improve the relevance and make it a better page. If you already made an awesome page on the topic but don't rank, probably you need to improve your authority and get links or mentions to that page from other content. Maybe write a related piece for another blog. He also asks, does it help to chunk content parts on a page using some kind of interactive hover effect so that readers are only seeing one chunk at a time? I wouldn't do that, especially not for search. Visitors are accustomed to classic usability would just be to scan and scroll down. So I wouldn't do anything with hover effects. Mobile devices don't have mouse cursors anyway. Just make your content flow as one long page. Use lots of subheaders. Leave some white space. Make it easy to scan. No fancy programming would be recommended or would be part of normal digital content best practices. That's not to say that there might not be a use case, maybe some fancy design site or, maybe like a museum website or some really interactive piece, where you want to do something out of the box. The next question was from Omira, beautiful name. She asked about the study, the 3-word study that links to the ridiculous engagement. That was BuzzSumo's analysis of 100 million articles written by Steve Raisin. The 3-word combinations are called trigrams. Anthony asks, how does page authority make its way into the SEO mix? Well, page authority is the specific competitor, right? Domain authority is shared by all pages on that domain or website, but the real test is your page authority versus their page authority. When we're making a new page, we don't have a page authority to compare yet, so we just have to look at the bigger picture domain authority. But ultimately, it's about the page itself. Does that page, right? It inherits some authority from its family, sort of, right? I trusted grandpa, so the grandson must be cool. But the page authority is the real test, and it's the PA on that Open Site Explorer Mozbar, that's the real competition. So when researching new key phrases for a new page, you kind of have to just look at domain authority. When optimizing a specific URL against the others, you kind of look at page authority. That's kind of where that fits into the mix. This person says class 1 and class 2 are probably better than me since they're looking more into UX. Class 5 is great. Estella, I think you'd probably, if you like 1 and 2, you'd probably like a lot of it. But I hope to see you in the course. If you're an institute member, just focus on the classes that I think give you the highest value. Is there anything in the class to help me benchmark against a competitor's blog entries or other content? There is something in the class certainly to analyze the competitors, but not so much about benchmarking. It's partly research for finding good topics. Benchmarks don't necessarily help you do better marketing. If you know that you're here and they're here, who cares? I'm actually not a fan of the idea of benchmarking. What we're trying to do in digital is to be better than yesterday. whether or not we're above or below someone else doesn't necessarily affect our marketing tactics, in my experience. If you are focused on benchmarking, you can turn on some of the kind of weak reporting that Google Analytics gives you about that. You can look up people in Alexa. You can look up people in SEMrush. There are tools for checking that, for checking benchmarks. But for me, the most useful thing about competitors is to see the phrases they're ranking for. I want to fight them on that battlefield, or to see what content they're writing that's getting shared. I'm going to jump into those topics, right? That would be SEMrush and BuzzSumo. Slides and recording will be really helpful. Yes, count it. Oh, great. John's going to sign up for the 20th. Thanks, John. Glad to have you. Will the entire set of pre-recorded classes be released at once or once per week? I think we're doing them in batches. They're pre-recorded, but you may not be able to binge watch them Netflix style immediately, but it won't be long. You won't have to wait 6 weeks to get them all. We'll be releasing them more quickly. Time of day, other classes. Michael wants to know time of day. I think that'd be a question for our host to ask. Brian, if you have an answer, go ahead and jump in. Brian Miller's here. Classes are self-paced. There we go. He's got it. Classes are self-paced and available starting Monday. The link has more info. Thanks, Brian. Valuable content for someone starting out as a solopreneur? Absolutely. You won't be able to compete for high-value phrases, but you'll understand keyword research. And you'll have a content strategy for accelerating your chance of ranking in search. Solopreneurs and people starting out, you got a great opportunity to do your content mission statement right from the beginning, to add calls to action to subscribe correctly right from the beginning, to build your content around conversion optimized, search optimized sales pages right from the beginning. So yeah, definitely, it's gonna save you years of your life, hopefully. Classes, are they at a certain time of day? I think we answered that, and that was the final question. Okay, guys, it's almost the hour. We went pretty quick, but I wanted to give you a sense for not just the content, but the pace. Class moves at about this pace. It really is, in 10 years, you're getting a download of my brain, and it's the best stuff I know. It's all of the most impactful presentations and articles I've written over the years, distilled down to their essence and core. So there are literally like 10,000 hours or more of analysis and research and experimentation and publishing and teaching and feedback and optimization and listening and reading and writing and research that went into this curriculum. If anyone has other questions about it, you're welcome to, just reach out and ask. We're going to be available. You know where to find us. I'm also someone you can connect with on social anytime. All of you, whether you take the class or not, are welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn if I can answer a question there. I guess we'll sign off here unless there's another question in the next second or two. This is a career highlight for me. It's like unlocking a lifetime achievement to get to do a class for CXL. We do have some other final questions. Will I be available to answer questions during the entire class? I will make myself available, Alicia. Yes, definitely. And as you saw, I make myself available to pretty much anyone I can because I get a lot of good content ideas from that. How to find the articles. Someone else, there was a question. How to find the articles that I've written before and make them rank worthy and shareable and republish them again without changing. Yes, that is a topic in the class. How do we find those articles that have been written? Partly it's about checking to see where the ranking is starting to decline. Partly it's about seeing the ones that rank well, but not super well, but are already attracting visibility. Articles that have high conversion rates from visitor to subscriber should be given extra love. There's a framework for this that we go into in the class, which I'm not going to find quickly enough now, but there's traffic champs, there's better mousetraps, there's conversion champs. When you lay out there's like 4 types of articles that we recommend giving extra love to, and you'll find it in the class. Great, guys, from Bogota, from all over the world. It's a pleasure to be here teaching with you. Even this morning was great. So thanks again. I hope to see you online. And again, one last final CTA, guys. Do it. Just do it. Do it for yourselves. Do it for your brand. Forget your brand. Do it for your own career. Do it to level up. Content strategists are so valuable these days. And the skills you learn here, you can apply to get better results for everything you do forever after. This is a good one. This is my very best. I hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody.